Welcome to the Ask Lee segment of my channel, and if you have any questions regarding magic, spirituality, witchcraft, demonology, the occult, whatever it may be, then all you have to do is drop it into the comments of any of the Ask Lee videos and I will add it to the queue. And I do these every Wednesday, so just look out for your questions. Welcome to my channel. You are entering the world of magic and mysticism with your host, Lee W. Johnson. Keep the lights on and help improve the channel by becoming a supporter for just $2.99 per month. Hit the join button. Welcome back. Alright, before I start, this coming Sunday at 3 p.m. GMT or UCT, I'm doing the Cauldron. If anybody caught my previous healing half-hour lives, it's basically going to be that. I'm just renamed it to the Cauldron. So if you want to tune in, then it's a live stream. You can join me in the chat. You can ask questions about healing, energy healing specifically. And then what I'll do what I used to do then. If nobody's familiar with it, basically what happens is I do spontaneous singing and use vibration and sound and things like that for healing. So all you have to do is sit back. Good idea to put some headphones on or some earphones, earpods or whatever, so you get the full effect of the vibrational state and etc. And then I just make funny noises and make funny sounds. Okay, so if you want to join me for that, that's on Sunday at 3 p.m. GMT, and I'll do it once a month. It'll be every third Sunday of the month, and then every first Sunday I'm going to be continuing with the Coven Stead, just a general chat on the Coven Stead, ask you questions, come along, discuss something. No specific topic will be assigned for that. Alright, so let's get into today's question. Today's probably just going to revolve around this question, which is about Baphomet. It's from Near Night. Would you consider making a video about Baphomet? Of course. He's so interesting and also plays a role in demonology, like in the Baphometic fire baptism. As far as I know through my research, the origins of the name word Baphomet aren't really clear, and there's a lot of different information and theories out there. I also wonder if he could be an egregore. Would really love your take on this. Don't know if this fits into an Ask Lee episode or if it would be a big enough topic for a Monday musing. I'll just do it today. Just an Ask Lee. It's an Ask Lee question, so I'll fit it into an Ask Lee video. Alright, so when it comes to the Baphomet, as you said, there's a lot of theories and speculations around the Baphomet. I think the two main areas we can possibly look at are the Knights Templar and Eliphas Levi. So unfortunately, when it comes to the Knights Templar and their association with the Baphomet, there's no proof of it. It purely is all speculation, but it was believed that they worshipped an idol. It was actually a head. I have seen mention of it being a helmet or a mask, but it's some kind of head that they worshipped as an idol, and they called it the Baphomet or the Baphomet. It has been said that in terms of the Knights Templar and the worship of the idol of the Baphomet, it actually was the name Muhammad as it's said in French. A bit of a mistranslation, misunderstanding, things like that. The difficulty there is there's no proof. There's no evidence of a head that was worshipped as an idol, a Baphomet or whatever. Just no evidence of it, nothing found, so purely speculation. So I think our main source for the Baphomet would be Eliphas Levi. And I'll put a picture up. I'm just going to show what I've got here so you know what I'm talking about. It's that there. All right. So I'm going to talk from my own understanding, my own gnosis, my own perspective on what the Baphomet is. So it is goat headed. It does refer to the goat of Mendes. It's the Sabbatic goat. So in witchcraft, it's the goat of the Sabbath. Okay, it's the devil. At the we had Jasmine Ambrosia on this past Monday, so it's the devil at the hallowed woods would be the reference there. But it's when you fly, when you take witch flight, when you do a journey to the woods in which you meet the devil, and there's a congregation of witches and other creatures during the witches' Sabbath. But anyway, all right, so going on. So the Baphomet in this depiction is goat-headed and also cloven-hooved, so goat-footed. So that's the Baphomet, and also horned. Has the horns of a goat. Between the horns is a flame. This is in very much reference to the Lucifer, the light bringer. You know, the background I came from, and specifically how I moved through traditional witchcraft, was that the light bringer in the East is horned with a flame betwixt the horns. And that flame betwixt the horns is the illumination of the path. So it illuminates your path. It is the bringer of gnosis, the knowledge. So it is the light bringer or the light bearer, the light being the gnosis or the knowledge that it brings. On the forehead is a pentagram. Pentagram's a very, very old symbol, and it represents many, many, many things. You know, it's the 5 elements. In a lot of modern interpretations, it's the 5 elements. And you know, when we talk about the 5 elements, we often think of them as being physical elements, and when we come to spirit, we think of it as being the soul. And I think there's a lot more to that than just the physical elements. It can represent the physical elements, obviously, but these are the esoteric elements, the occult elements. They're not just the physical. And when we talk about spirit or the ether, you know, we find this in Crowley's work. Every man and woman is a star, but that sort of comes from Plato, where he considered the stars in the cosmos to be made up of a 5th element, which was ether, and then related that back to the consciousness of a person being made up of the same thing, and the consciousness being the soul, and things like that. So it's made up of the same substance, which makes every man and woman a star. All right. So the pentagram can be interpreted in many, many ways. The main thing about the Baphomet is the balance of all things. Again, coming back to the horns and the flame betwixt the horns are usually considered, or often considered, to be the opposing forces, and then they are brought into balance by the gnosis, by the knowledge. And then we find the balance of masculine and feminine in the Baphomet. The Baphomet has feminine breasts, is kind of masculine, but I think the important part here is the caduceus in the lap. I'm not sure if it's just because he couldn't draw an erect penis, or because of the times and things like that. It might have been seen as a bit pornographic, and maybe this is my own interpretation. The caduceus is a very old symbol. It goes back to 3000, 4000 BC, from Mesopotamia. The 2 entwined snakes around a staff. But the caduceus is a very phallic symbol. It was carried by Hermes, and Hermes was the father of Pan, and Pan was very much a fertility god. And I actually see the Baphomet as being Pan. When we consider Pan, there are two interpretations of the name Pan. One means all being everything, which is very much in relation to the Baphomet. The other one is shepherd. It's believed that the original word Pan actually was or translates to shepherd. Later on, it started being translated, the Greek word Pan, from or into all. So there's a bit of a difference there, but at the same time, that's what we've come to know Pan as, being the all begetter. Sorry, I'm going off track. The Caduceus. So Hermes is the father of Pan. Pan is the all. Pan is very much a fertility spirit, a guardian of the wild animals, the forests and things like that. The shepherd. But in terms of the fertility aspect, Pan is usually seen with a large erect phallus. And that comes back to the Caduceus in the lap of the Baphomet. And then we've got the balance of the masculine and feminine there. Then we have the quarter moon, or the slice of the moon, in white above and black below, again bringing the dark and the light aspects into union, into balance. We have on Baphomet's arms Solvay and Coagula, so that's Solvay et Coagula. Now, Solvay et Coagula translates to dissolve and coagulate, and this is to break a substance down to its basic elements before you reform it into something new. So Solvay et Coagula is quite an important process in the magical paths. You kind of break yourself down, and then from that you can then build up something new. And this is very much, included in initiatory systems and paths and experiences, is where we are broken down and then we build ourselves up. This can also be seen very much in the Dark Night of the Soul. So you've got that breaking down and building up again. Then we have the various animal representations. So if you have a look at the Caduceus, just behind the Caduceus it's either serpentine or it's fish. Not quite sure there. It could be both. It could be a representation of both. So we have reptilian and we have the fish aspect. We have the wings, which is avian. We have the goat, which is the earth. So we have all the different types of animals in here. We have the aerial animals, the birds in the sky. We have the serpentine and or the fish, which is watery. We have the goat, which is earthy. So again, we're bringing in all the elements. We've got the flame betwixt the horns, which is fire. So, just this one symbol brings everything into union, everything into balance, everything into equilibrium. It covers practically everything. You can look at this and you can find all different aspects of the elements, of the animals, of the masculine and the feminine, the dark and the light. It's all in there. And this is very much why I consider, my own interpretation of Baphomet is Pan. So yeah, I mean, Pan isn't represented exactly like this, but it covers that aspect of being the all, the all consciousness, all consciousness. And if we then start talking about consciousness, we could bring Shiva into this. And I know Shiva, there's some speculation whether Shiva is the horned deity or not. But if we consider the phallic aspect of Shiva, the linga, then the rod, which is the will tree. It's the axis mundi, and therefore we then come back to the all, and we have Shiva being the consciousness. Consciousness. I cannot say that word today. Consciousness. Therefore we come back again to Pan, and all of these things start relating in one way or another. I am, just warning, I am quite soft polytheistic, so I do kind of find these bridges between the different deities, the different cultures, pantheons, and things like that. So forgive me for that. But yeah, I think that covers most of the symbolism. I mean, you can meditate on the Baphomet and find tons and tons of representations and symbolisms, and go deeper into it. There is a great paper that was written by I'm probably going to say this very wrong, the Universiteit van Amsterdam. So the Amsterdam University. If you go onto Google and just put in Baphomet Levi, it should come up with this paper from the Amsterdam University. It's a great paper on the Baphomet, examines the symbolism from Levi's perspective. So you might want to go and have a look at that as well. All right. So I just wanted to cover that one today, and then we'll get on to more questions next week. Okay, and don't forget this Sunday, the Cauldron healing live stream. If you want to just sit back, relax, put your headphones on and listen to me make funny noises, which everybody loves. So that's what I'm doing in the game. I was asked what happened to the healing half hour, so I'm going to bring it back again. Okay. Until then, I'll see you around, and I'll see you next week for more Ask Lee. Cheers for now. Bye bye.